All right, Push Fit Podcast in full effect. We are live with another take, and we're here with the Killer B again. Welcome back, Killer B.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah,
what's up, man?
Glad to have you back.
I like we were just talking about it. It's like we've done this a couple times, but it feels like the first time every time, and it's just wild. It's been a wild ride.
It has been a wild ride, and I'm glad to have you back. I'm glad to have you back in the seat. I'm glad to be back in the chair. We have some different aesthetics now. I hope you like the aesthetics. It's not permanent, but just. You know,
I look good with green. So.
Yeah, everything looks good. Everything looks good. So how's life been so far? How's mental state? How's everything like that?
My life's been pretty. I don't want to say boring, but I haven't been as full steam as I usually am. You know, like when I first fought for bare knuckle and my life switched overnight. It's been like this coasting, and you know, I've had a lot of big changes personally and like. Things going on in that nature, but like fighting's been kind of slow and I'm itching for that, but life is good. Life's really good. I'm super happy. You know, it's been a long time since I felt like I've had a really good mental state, and this is the first time I feel good, you know? But I want to fight. I want to punch someone in the face.
Okay. So we'll take a little step back for the people we're just going to take a little step back for the people to make sure that they know the updates of your life, the updates of your fighting career, past fights and everything like that, just because it has been a long time. So your past fights, you had a recent championship fight with Christina Ferrer. Is that how you say your name?
Yeah. Christine Ferrer, yeah.
How we figured out some change. We've basically, I feel like you figured out some different aspects of the fight game since that fight.
Oh, 100%. You know, I've always been told not to fight with like a lot on your mind or like a heavy heart or mental, but also the other side of me is like, I signed up for this. I'm doing it. I'm a fighter. I'm going to fight no matter what day it is. And that fight really put into perspective, like if you're not okay up here, the rest isn't going to work. And I was in denial before that fight. Like, I was like, no, I'm good. Everything's fine. And then as soon as I stepped into that fight, like went to walk to the ring. And as I was in the ring, like, I was like, that was the first time that I was like, fuck, I'm not okay. And I don't have any concept of like where I'm at, what's going on. And afterwards, once it was over and I had like, you know, unfortunately all of that shit happened in front of the world. And I lost like in an embarrassing way, and it was super devastating. It crushed me. Like then afterwards I was like, I'm not okay. And I haven't been okay, but I've been ignoring it. So that was a big step in the right direction to changing my mental health. So as shitty as that fight was in that moment, and like it's threaded in history now for bare knuckle, it changed the way that I handle things mentally and like, you know, working on myself mentally. So that's the takeaway from that. But yeah, that shit fucking sucked.
Yeah. So can you talk about the preparation for the fight? Did you feel prepared before you got into the fight, before you took the fight? I felt like you were prepared. I was a part of some of your fight camp, and I just felt like something just wasn't clicking. Could you talk about that?
I feel like you were there in the gym a lot of the times when I was like, I feel like I freaked out a lot of the training sessions. Like there was a lot of times where I was like crying, upset, and I just was kind of like in this denial again, where I was like, I'm just crazy. I'm a crazy bitch. Like I'm a female. I'm crazy. I'm nuts. I'm got all this stuff going on. That's just is what it is. I'm fighting. But physically, I was in the best shape of my life. My weight was perfect. Hardest training camp I've ever been through, and physically I was 150% ready. It was the mental, and like it's crazy. People don't tend to realize like if you, like I said, aren't okay up there, the rest doesn't follow. And yeah, so physically I was good. Mentally, it was not championship mentality. And like, you know, after fighting Christine, I've trained with her a lot, and the one thing I saw was like, okay, I could beat her, but like if you put us side to side mentally, like she has a fucking championship mentality. And like it made me realize like, okay, I gotta work on that myself. So it's a different ball game.
And so we'll talk about the championship mentality, and talk about actually what is the difference between actual boxing, actual bare knuckle, because they're two totally different sports, two totally different aspects.
100%.
Like, what do you see about the sport now that you didn't see about it before?
You know, being in it for so long, I've seen MMA fighters, Muay Thai fighters, grapplers, kickboxers. I've seen everybody go in there and think that they have a plan for it. And even boxers go in there like, I'm a boxer, so if I fight this MMA fighter, I'm going to fuck them up. And bare knuckle is its own discipline. It's its own thing. Like the clinch style, like you can only clinch one-handed to the back of the head, and it can only be for so long. Like there's so many little different stipulations to bare knuckle boxing, and it's just not the same as any other discipline. Again, with the mental thing, like you have to go in there and be ready to fucking die. Like you have to go in there with that mindset. Like you have to be a dog. If you're not a dog, you're going to get hit in the face and you're going to be like, I'm out. Like that just is what it is. I think that's what makes bare knuckle so different from other sports. Like you really have to have that motherfucking dog in you when you fight bare knuckle. Right. That just is what it is. Like that's the number one thing when I see people who have never been in there and they ask me like, what do I need to do? Like you need to go in there and just not give a fuck. Like, and that just is what it is. But you know, I've been more injured fighting with gloves on than I have fighting bare knuckle.
Wow.
I mean, I know you've seen the meme.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I feel great. Seen the meme. I feel great. Yeah, just feel fantastic.
Right. I loved it. Yeah. But really, like other sports, like when I fought MMA, I broke my nose so many times. I've broken my hands. I've like had all kinds of orbital fractures and stuff. But in bare knuckle, it's always just like this surface level injury. It just bruises and swelling and cuts, and it goes away really quick. So it's crazy. It's a lot safer than other stuff I fought in.
That's crazy. And that's crazy to see, because I look at that shit and I'm like, yo, fuck no. I'm like, those motherfuckers are savages. Those motherfuckers get in there and start killing each other. They start beating each other. And then I have a couple of friend fighters that just go in there. I'm like, God damn. I'm like, yo, y'all are a different type of beast.
The one thing I tell people too as I go, you know, it's not as bad as you would think it is, but it also is as bad as you would think it is. And that's hard to explain. That's just one of those things that like you don't know until you've been in there and done it. Like it's like what you think is going to be the worst part isn't. And what you think is not going to suck is usually what sucks. Like you wouldn't think that hitting someone with your bare fist is like that your hands are going to hurt. You're thinking, I'm going to get my face fucked up. Not that my hands are going to swell up like baseballs like after the fight. It's wild, but I love bare knuckle. Like I did a boxing match like a year ago. I don't want to do anything else. Like it just doesn't have the same appeal to me. So, you know.
So you can still see yourself fighting out your career with BKFC?
Yeah. I mean, I would like to fight more often. Unfortunately, that's just not the case. And like, but my heart just isn't in the MMA. I tried to like do a grappling competition and I was just like, fuck, this sucks. I don't want to be grabbed. I don't want to be choked. I don't want to be slammed. And yeah, my heart's in it. Like that's where my heart is. And that's where I want my career to finish off. But you know, if things don't work out that way, like I'm still a dog. I got to go fight somewhere else and I'll do it.
And so so I'm going back to when you were in the fight. I felt like you were actually pushing forward. You were winning the fight, controlling the center, going forward. Just something just stopped. Like what was that?
It's crazy. I could literally break down every second of that fight. Like as I got in the ring, I remember standing in the ring and it felt like I was in a video game, and I had never felt like that for a fight ever. I was standing there. I had no concept of like where I was at, what was going on. And it felt like I was just in autopilot. And I remember everyone kept telling me to like come off the line crazy, like come off the line swinging. And something in my brain's like, nah, like maybe just throw them off a little bit, throw them off, like take your time, like try to throw, but be aggressive, but smart about it. And I tried to do that, and I actually like rocked Christine with an overhand right.
Yes,
that's now that fight might have only been 30 seconds, but I'll be damned if I didn't rock her with one punch at least. And I remember I hit her with this overhand right. This bitch hits the ropes, and when I say her face just like turned into the Terminator, and like I had hit her and rocked her, and I was like, fuck, she's about to come to my ass. And sure enough, like, she was just hitting me, and like, she hit me a couple times and I dropped. And I remember I was like, fuck, I looked at my corners and they were like, get back up. Don't quit. Like, just don't give up. And I was like, fuck, all right. Like, and I go back and she hit me a couple more times and it was like in my temples. And all that like flashed into my brain was my kids. And I was like, this isn't worth it right now. And I'm not, like, I just knew, like, in that moment, like, there's no way that I'm going to go all 5 rounds and that, like, this is worth doing. It just wasn't, like, to me. And then I looked at them and I was just like, fuck this. Like, I can't. And, like, people talk so much shit about that. But it's like, at the end of the day, I got to go home to a 7-year-old and a 6-year-old. And I am the one that has to go and live my day-to-day life. Like, I don't get to leave the fight and take time off. I go straight home, and when I'm home, I'm picking up the kids. I'm taking them to school. I'm handling business at home. And all I was thinking in that moment was like, fuck this. Like, not worth it. So that's just what happened, and it sucked. It was very embarrassing. It was like one of the worst moments of my life. But now I look back at it, I'm like, I joke about it all the time. I'm like, I don't care. Yeah, I quit. So did Luke Rockhold. So did fucking Eddie Alvarez. So did other people. But because I'm a female and like a super popular female, for some reason, like, I still catch heat for that fight to this day. And that was a year and a half ago.
And I think that was one of those things that people really wanted to know and really wanted to understand, because you were on a tear and people know how good you are. People know where you could have been and still striving towards, because we want to see you back in the ring. We want to see you back fighting for a championship. People just wanted to know, like, why, like, just what happened. Like,
yeah, you know, that's another thing too. Like, when you're on a tear like that, your ego gets a boost. And you start thinking, I'm fucking invincible. Like, at that time period, I was like, I'm invincible. But also at the same time, they were offering other females fights. They were saying no. And so I was like, you know what? I'll fight Christine. Because, like, genuinely, still to this day, I'm not scared of Christine. Do I really want to go fight her again? I'm smart. Like, she's got a lot more experience than me. And I had a couple people tell me, you know, like, I don't think this is the right fight to take yet. But, like, I believe in myself. That's what you do. You're a fighter. Even to this day, you can't tell me that I'm not the champion. I still believe that. That's the mindset you have to have. That's the Mamba mentality. You have to believe in yourself, no matter what. I could get knocked out 10 fucking times, and I'm still going to believe that I'm the best in the world. That's how you have to carry yourself. And, you know, I wish I would have, like, waited a little bit, but also that was, like, what was in front of me. And, you know, I just didn't show up. I think if it was a different time and a different day and I showed up, I would have definitely put on a different performance. But it just was, you know, you don't always have good days at the office when you go to work and you punch the clock. Like, sometimes it's a shit day, and that just happened to be what it was.
Okay. And so that's just like a great segue into how do you feel about the organization now, and has it impacted your career? How do you feel like they've like really brought you to another sport? You love it now. You know, you can't see yourself in another sport. Like, yeah. Like, what do you feel about it?
You know, it's a slippery slope, because I love bare knuckle. I love what's happened in my career. Like, I'm so thankful for them. They've really, like, I wouldn't be who I am or have the eyes on me that I do now if it wasn't for bare knuckle and their platform. That's just the truth. And, you know, I can tell you the days I remembered, like, being like, I'm a star, or people telling me I was going to be a star. And, like, I believed in myself that much. Like, I was like, I'm going to be somebody in this sport. And bare knuckle gave me that opportunity. And bare knuckle's really growing. It's taking off. It's so much bigger than it used to be. And it's cool to be a part of that history. You know, there's a couple of things personally myself that, like, I would handle differently if I was them. But it's a fight promotion. I'm pretty sure, like, almost every fight promotion has their bullshit that people deal with. And, you know, like I said, it's where I want to be. All of the people that work there are fucking awesome. Like, when you go and you fight for bare knuckle, it's a family reunion. Everybody that you see are the same people. They're so kind. They're so nice. And, I'm super thankful for that. I just want to fucking fight more. Put me in. Put me in.
Why do you think they're holding off right now?
It's hard. Like, you have so many people wanting to come in and fight for, I'll say this, people don't know their worth, or they just don't care, or they have a lot of yes people. And so, you know, it's a lot easier to get people coming in and fighting for less. And there's such a big desire for bare knuckle and people wanting to fight for bare knuckle. Like, now it's like every other day there's so many people getting in this organization or getting their foot in the door, and like, especially females. Like, the men, it's different. Men are 90% of the card, and the females are only like this small percentage. And now it's like there's so many females, there's so many this, there's so many that. But, you know, I'll fight the newbies, I'll fight the cans, I'll fight the champs, I'll fight whoever. So I'm just waiting. It's my turn to fight.
Right, exactly. And so, do you think a lot of like we said, bare knuckle is a business. It happens.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, people have to make money. We don't come here to do certain things that we love to do for free, even if we love it. Do you think that a lot of the attention's coming off of like actual like people from other organizations and then taking away some of the attention to the fighters that actually are homegrown?
Yeah, I mean, that's hard. That's what's hard, is like, I'm a homegrown bare knuckle star. I wasn't in the UFC. I wasn't in Bellator. I wasn't anything like that. I'm homegrown. But then, of course, you got the Mike Perrys, the Eddie Alvarez's, the Chad Mendez's. Like, they're coming over, and like, you know, it's bittersweet because it's really fucking cool. They're bringing the eyes that are needed to the sport. But then at the same time, it's like, you know, the homegrown stars, like, they should really focus on them too. But, you know, from the business standpoint, you're going to put someone in there homegrown who's getting 100 viewers, or you're going to put the Chad Mendez in there that's getting millions of people selling millions of pay-per-views. So I get it. It's
a business at the end of the day. But we're ranked number 2 that I've seen you in the flyweight division. Is that still your home, or are we moving?
I'm going down to strawweight.
Strawweight, okay.
You know, I put some muscle on. I hit my womanly years. Okay. I'm starting to get some biceps, and I thought, you know, no way can I make 115. I got a boob job, so I'm like, no way. Okay. No way is there that I could get to 115. And another thing, like, your nutrition, like, it's crazy if you have the right person in your corner, really guiding you with what you eat and what you put in your body, your supplements and things like that. Like, you can cut the weight. And also at the same time, like, when I started, there was only a flyweight division. There wasn't strawweight or anything like that yet. So now I'm like, okay, I need to do this the right way, like a professional, back down to 115. Because let me tell you, some of those 125ers now, they're getting some big bitches up in there. They're getting some big bitches up in there. Okay. And I'm like, I think I'm good on that. Once Christine hit me in the temple, I was like, I need to go back down where I belong, you know? I used to fight at strawweight. And
okay, so you used to fight at strawweight.
Yeah,
okay.
I used to fight at strawweight and in MMA and stuff like that. So going back up to flyweight was just simply because that was all that they had at the time. That was the only division they had, and a lot of the girls that were in the flyweight division are now strawweights because they're making homes for us now.
Okay. So we're back down to strawweight.
Losing my ass.
Losing the ass.
Got my boobs, but yeah.
At least you had the boobs. So speaking of ass and boobs, you've been on another endeavor. Taylor Starling is a star in multiple platforms, guys.
Yes.
OnlyFans. That's it. OnlyFans.
Who doesn't have an OnlyFans?
Right. Who doesn't have an OnlyFans nowadays? But I just want to know what made you want to go to that platform. So
at the time, after I first fought for bare knuckle, my manager at the time was like, "Yo, I got a business deal for you." I'm like, "Oh, say less. What is it? I like money. Let's go." I have a website that's taylorstarling.com, and that's where I started. At that time, I was doing my own site, my own domain, and other people were choosing to do OnlyFans. And I was like, why can't I do both? I'll do both. So I made an OnlyFans too. So I got two fan sites. He was like, it's kind of taking off. Like, you only show what you want to show. You only do what you want to do. It's your own thing. You don't even got to show anything. It's just so that people can interact with you as fans and you get paid. It changed my life. Like, it's crazy to say, but that shit changed my life. It really did. And, like, anybody can say what they want. But at the end of the day, if you know you're going to make over $100,000 a year, let's just put it like a figure. If you're going to make over $100,000 a year, all you got to do is show your boobies. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do? You showing your boobies.
Show my boobies. Show my boobies, guys.
Yeah. And, you know, it's one of those things like, it's hard. Like, that's another thing that's like rough, you know, being a mom and like knowing people personally. I teach kids at the gym, stuff like that. That was something that at first I was like, how are people gonna see me and stuff like that? But like I said, everybody has one. You can pick and choose what you put on there. And, you know, it used to bother me when people judge me about it, but you can't take an opinion to the bank. So
what did you, and how was that of the opinions of others when you're in this space? Like, how was that dealing with those opinions and, you know, ciphering through all those opinions and, you know, saying, fuck it, I'm still doing this shit?
Yeah, it's hard. Like, at first, there was, like, pages, like, leaking my shit, putting stuff on Instagram, commenting, talking shit. But then from the other side, like, every week, money's getting deposited in my bank account. So it was, like, I would be super upset, but I was able to afford to buy a car that didn't break down when I'm driving my kids to school. I was able to move and put furniture in my apartment that I didn't have. I can go somewhere and pay for something and not be worried if I'm able to eat or pay the power. You know what I mean? That's just, it is what it is. Like, when it comes to that, like, what are you going to do? I want to, like, fuck the opinion, say whatever you want. Like, my fucking bills are paid. And that's that. Yeah. And, you know, it does suck. Like, there are nights where, like, I've laid in bed and been like, what am I doing? Like, this is crazy. Like, why would I do this? But then at the same time, again, like I said, like, my bills are paid. Everybody that loves me and supports me never went anywhere, and they don't think of me any differently. So if it's just some random person on the internet, fuck them. Like, I definitely get comments. Like, even the other day, I read something, and it was like, you're the disappointment of your family. You shouldn't fight. Fuck you. You're a cam girl. Why do you do anything else? Like, it's crazy. But, you know, it's anything you do, someone's always going to have something to say that doesn't know you. If you know me, I'm a great person. I'm a great mom, great friend, and ain't nobody else paying my bills. So,
right.
I mean, the OnlyFans people.
Shout out to OnlyFans. I know a couple of girls that do OnlyFans, some that I went to high school with, and it's just like, hey, how have you been over these years? Let's subscribe and see what you're doing now. So
have you subscribed?
Oh, I have. No, I've subscribed to, not yours, but I'm saying I've subscribed to girls that I've done, like, that I've seen in high school. I'm like, wow, never got to see you in this light. So let's see, let's see what you've been doing all these years.
But see, like, the one thing that I appreciate about OnlyFans is, like, if you're on there and you're looking at someone, like, you have to go out of your way to make yourself be known. So, like, 90% of the people that are on there are, like, by a fake name. I don't know who they are. It's anonymous. Makes it better that way. And, you know, like, some people know the side of OnlyFans of, like, someone's usually running stuff for you, and, like, you have other people running your pages for you that help you out. So it's not like I have to really deal with these crazy people all the time.
Have you ever, like, slightly found out that somebody that you knew subscribed to you?
Yes. And it was
you don't gotta say the name. But
I won't say the name. I don't even know if I can say the whole story. I'll have to tell you, but, like, someone at the gym subscribed, but it was someone I didn't know at the gym. So, like, you know, you got, like, people that come in there and, like, interact, whatever. Someone from the gym has subscribed that I didn't even know, even in the gym. They were, like, someone that, I don't know, they were just in the gym. We'll just say that. Yeah. I don't know them personally. I haven't known them the whole years I had been there, and I had to go to them and be like, hey, you know, like, I appreciate it, but, you know, respect. Like, there's a certain respect and a certain line that's got to be drawn. I would appreciate it if you either just don't try to talk to me on here, or you like get the fuck off my OnlyFans, because it's just weird. I gotta have like a certain line in the sand with stuff. I don't want that coming into like my other business, you know. So yeah, that's the only one though.
That's the only one.
But I'm sure there's like
it's probably more.
I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Okay.
If you're paying $30 for my armpit pictures, let's go.
And that's what,
I don't want to know who you are though.
And that's what I want to say. Like, do you ever like make the content and whatever you do, you just kind of like laugh like, motherfucker, people actually like this shit.
Yeah.
Like people like want to see me do this shit.
To me, this is my favorite content. There will be people who come on there and they're like, degrade me. I'm like, easy, because it's real. So I will go on there and be like, I fucking hate you. You're a loser. You're a bum. You're disgusting. I wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. Fuck you. Like, I'm like, oh, easy money. But there's definitely like, the foot people are strong. Like the foot people are probably like the number one. Like they want to see feet, bottom of feet, toes. That's easy too. But it's like, it's crazy how many people like feet. But there's the small percentage of people who like armpits. And I think like with fighting, something about men and women, when they see female fighters, I don't know what it is that they think about. I don't know if they think we're crazy or we're like masculine or like freaks or something like that. But I've noticed that like with the whole spectrum of female fighters and dealing with these people, like they want to see you like choke someone out, or like you're not like, the nastier that your feet are, the better.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like there have been times I'm like, I don't really want to take a picture of my feet. Like I have giant calluses on my feet from training. They're ugly. I don't have pretty feet. Like, oh, and the nastier the better. Like,
okay.
But yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It's wild. Like it's wild.
It's a wild community. I'm sure like the fetish is crazy. Like the requests are crazy. Is there any what's the craziest place that you've created content?
Craziest place I've created content. I don't feel like I've done anything like crazy, because it's funny, I'm boring. Like I'm super boring. Maybe just like if I'm like at a hotel or something and I'm like, oh, I gotta take a picture of my boobs and like send it out. But nowhere like wild. I'll say this, one of my former opponents, her name is Jade Masson Wong. She's French. I'm sure you saw it. It was on the internet for a little bit. They took it down. It was like me and her and our boobs were together. And like, we were actually at an Airbnb, and I didn't know, well, I knew it was like a shared Airbnb, but I didn't think anybody was on the other side or not staying there. So they have this pool. We're in Miami. I'm like, girl, we got a backyard. We can do whatever we want. No one's going to see it. Me and this woman are outside taking pictures of our boobs out. I swear to you, like 5 people come out of the backyard and they're like, like, what's going on? And they were like, no, we don't care. Hell yeah. And they all start sitting down and they're like watching. And it's like people that were like on first dates. There was like 2 couples that had like just met each other for the first time.
Oh, shit.
And like a group of people in Miami, like all meeting up and like having a group. They like sat by the pool and they were like, no, this is dope. And I'm like, what? So that was like wild.
What did this shit just turn into?
Yeah, it was wild. They just sat down. Someone like rolled a blunt and they were smoking their blunt and passing it. And I was like, time to go inside. Like,
they're not paying. Well, you should have told them motherfuckers to subscribe or something.
They were like, we're staying here and we get the pool too. So we're going to watch. They were like, we don't care. Just we're going to hang out.
Well, at least they were cool about it.
They were super dope.
Well, that's crazy.
That has to be the wildest thing that's like happened, like doing content. I don't get crazy. Like I probably shouldn't say it. I get crazy, guys. Actually, I lied. I get crazy.
Yeah, she gets
subscribe.
Crazy.
I mean, it's free. But yeah, like there's some shit that people do that I have boundaries. Like I have, like my OnlyFans is good. I will say that, but I have boundaries. Like,
so what do you think the difference is between, I guess, OnlyFans and I guess being a porn star?
You know, the
being
adult
in the adult industry.
Yeah, the adult film industry. It's crazy. Like I've sat and watched interviews and stuff of porn stars and adult actors, and I've met Kendra Luss and I met Lisa Ann, and talk to them.
Lisa, and we taking it. Is she still doing that? Is she still doing it?
No, she doesn't do it. I mean, actually, she might have like an OnlyFans now.
Okay.
I know Kendra Luss has an OnlyFans.
Okay.
But I met both of them. They're both the nicest, smartest, business-oriented boss bitches I've ever met in my life.
It's the craziest shit in the world. It's the craziest. You'll see them like, I've even seen Instagram models or just people that you wouldn't, not to say like women are not smart, but just people that I hear them speak and I'm like, wow, you're really articulate.
Yeah.
Or like, and why are you
how did you get stuck in the washing machine?
Right.
How'd you get stuck in the washing machine?
Exactly. like that's why I'm like what is it?
Yeah. It's different. Like I've learned a lot watching interviews and seeing those people because like, I get curious and like, how are these people doing this stuff? It's crazy. Yeah. They're actors. Like they really are actors. Like they show up, they do their prep, they do their stuff. It's not like, it's crazy how many people, like you don't realize like porn is not real. Like that's acting. It's crazy. Like people don't get it. I guess the difference with OnlyFans would be, if it's someone you personally like want to be able to like contact or something, like I get a lot of people on there that are like, I don't even care to see any of this stuff. I'm just a huge fan, and to like be able to talk to you one-on-one means something to me. And so that's cool. That's the difference. Like, I mean, porn, that's a whole nother world I have no real idea about other than this, like those people know, like they're doing, I don't want to say they know what they're doing. Obviously they know what the fuck they're doing. But it's a job. It's not, I don't think it's all as glamorous as everybody would think. It's not like you show up and you're fucking and that's it. It's a lot of
start, stop.
Yeah. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff. I don't think we all know about.
I've heard like some of the porn stars in the porn star industry. I mean, the adult industry. There's like, they're starting and stopping, or they have to do takes, another cum shot. You'd be like, bro, I got about 1 or 2 in me. Even we gotta chill for like you feel me, like another 3-4 hours. But like stopping, like nah, I can't.
I watched this interview of one. It was a guy, and he was saying like, I don't go into this like wanting to do it. Like I have to take like a certain amount of Viagra to even be able to make it happen. Damn. And this guy ended up like accidentally like overdosing on Viagra and his dick wouldn't get hard. So it was like this whole thing, and it was crazy to watch. It was sad. He was like, I'm just trying to work and make a paycheck, but it wasn't happening. And I kept trying to go and sneak Viagra, and that's wild. And for me, the thing that sucks about OnlyFans for me personally, and I've heard it with like adult film actors too, is like it kind of, when I do have like that relationship with someone, like I want to be like, I love dressing up and being sexy and stuff, but I like it separate. Like I don't want to be that for my person. I want my own version of what I've got going on with them to be that, and for it to be special. And like OnlyFans has a way of like making you see that stuff in a different light, because you see so many different versions of people and like their mental and like what they like and how people see you, and it's like super degrading. And like I've heard with like Lisa Ann and Kendra Luss, like I've heard them tell stories too of like, when I'm at home, y'all think my husband's getting this porn star? No, he's getting me in a t-shirt and no bra, and I got my retainer in, and my hair is gross and no makeup, like, That's crazy.
I'll be so disappointed. I would be so disappointed, because what's the point? Like, what's the point? Like if I'm dating the porn star, I mean, you going out and doing it for somebody else, like, I want you to do it for me too. Yeah. God damn it.
And like if I do something for my boyfriend, like he gets his own pictures.
Right.
OnlyFans, they see stuff, and you might think like, oh, like you're really doing it up for OnlyFans, but like I want to separate. I want that separate.
For sure.
Because to me, if I'm like taking an OnlyFans picture and I'm sending it to my man, it becomes not special. Like, right. I want him to be like, hey, I want you to do this, or you send me this. Like, I want it to be our own thing. OnlyFans, though, like, at first, like, it was crazy. The way that it made me feel, like, for a really long time, it was like, it made me feel like sex wasn't important, or sex was, like, such an object, and, like, how it was super degrading. But nah, it's cool. I think it's cool that a lot more women and men and everybody's doing it, and like you don't even have to do like sexual stuff on there. I think that's such a stigma too that people put on it. There's people who do training stuff. There's people who do diet, like nutrition and shit like that. But, you know, nobody wants to see what I'm eating. They on OnlyFans.
For sure.
Unless I'm like this with my armpit showing. You know?
Is that the craziest thing the craziest like content that you've made the most money off of is the armpits, or what's?
I would have to say that or like degrading people.
Is there like a range? You don't have to give it an exact number, but what's the like most range wise that you made off some weird ass content that's a fan asked for?
I have like, I guess like the foot stuff. People ask for like my dirty socks. Like that makes a lot of money. Have a fan every day, $30. Send me a picture of your armpits. They want nothing else. Nothing else. They don't want to see my titties. They don't want to see my ass. They don't want to see my face. They want a close-up picture of my armpits.
Wow.
Every day, $30, and I am more than shaved or unshaved. How do you want to see the armpits today? But the worst offer I ever got, which was like, and I of course like read it and immediately was like, someone asked to pay me, I think like $1,000. They were like, meet up, fart in my face. I'm like, how am I
like in public or in private, or like how are we doing?
That was the sentence.
Yeah.
If I paid you $1,000, would you fart in my face? That was it. And I'm like, I don't have any further questions for this. Like I was like, how do you fart on command? Like, or like make that happen? It was super weird. And like, but that had to be like the weirdest request I've ever seen.
Were you conflicted? Were you like, it's just a fart?
No.
You were just like, nah, fuck that.
No. I ain't farting for free in front of people.
In front of,
like, no.
I feel.
I'm a lady.
Right. That I don't even know how you fart on command. I'm guessing he would pay for like the beans or anything like that has to come with the fart.
I just thought of another one. This guy, this one's funny. Like, this isn't OnlyFans. This is like an email I receive once a year, and other female fighters have gotten it because like I posted about it, and I was like, this guy's gotta be out of his mind. There was a guy who sends out this like collegiate essay via email to all the female fighters like in the industry, like UFC ones, Invicta, Bare Knuckle, all of us. I can't remember his name, but he sends it out like once a year. And it's like, can you fly to Florida? I'll pay for your flight. You come to a hotel room. I'll pay you $3,000. Come to the hotel room, beat my ass, but don't knock me unconscious. I don't want to be hospitalized, but I want you to like really hurt me, but I have to be able to hurt you back. It's like this wild, if I ever find out, I'll like send you a copy of it, but it's like this wild thing. And it's like a contract, and he sends it once a year. And every year I get it and I read it and I'm like, what the fuck? And then I've seen other people post it. It's nuts, but it's like a whole contract of like, come beat me up in Florida in a hotel room. Don't hospitalize me, but I want to be able to hit you back. And it like states his weight, his height, what he's looking for. And it's nuts.
That's crazy.
That's probably one of the wild. And he like put work in. It's like an essay, like A+ graded paper in college essay.
He must have had a lawyer look at that shit.
Oh, for sure.
Like, 'cause he had a whole, he had to have somebody look at that to be able to assault somebody and just like full on. Yeah. To have like blows thrown for money, it has to be something drawn up like legally.
It's like, you can beat my ass, but I don't want to be unconscious. I don't want to be in the hospital. Like it was nuts. So that's another one. I've seen some shit.
I know you have. I know you have.
Every day.
I know it doesn't get any better. I know it just gets. Honestly, I think it gets humorous at a point. Like
yeah.
Yeah.
At a point, it's like now that I've gotten to the point where I've been in this for a while and like in the game and everything, even outside of OnlyFans, like you just get the craziest shit all the time, and you just gotta like keep it rolling.
Well, speaking of contracts, I know I'm holding you here too long, but you know, speaking of contracts, you have any call outs you need to have or anything you can speak of? So I know you can't talk about dates, but I'm
about to like start sweating, sitting upright.
Yeah, talk to the people.
Crack my knuckles. No, I have my sights set on Jenny Savage. Jenny Savage, that little brat. I've been wanting to fight her for so long. I took a loss to her in MMA 3 or 4 years ago. She's in the 115-pound division. I want to fight her. I don't dislike her personally, but she doesn't like me. It's like this whole storyline. She's a hater. whatever. Like, I just want to shut her up and like get my L back and like show her who the real queen of bare knuckle is. So that's, bare knuckle knows I want it. She wants it. She's said something the other day like, I'm not afraid of bees, whatever, talking her shit on Instagram. So let's make it happen. That's who I want. I can't think of anybody else. Every single day I'm like, I just want to fight Jenny Savage.
Well, let's BKFC. Let's get that going. Let's get that contract signed because Killer B is ready to sting some motherfuckers again. Hey, Killer B, where can they find you? Where can they keep up with your journey?
Follow me on Instagram at Taylor Starling. You guys can follow my OnlyFans at Killer B BKFC. I'm a Facebook mom, and I have TaylorStarling.com. Find me at the gym training. That's about it. Simple.
Well, I'm glad you were able to come back up here again. We're going to be following your journey as always. As always, you are welcome up here, and we love you. And thank you for
anytime.
Thank you for coming up here.
Hey, hell yeah.
Yeah, this is a Push Effect podcast. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we out.
Hey, we out.